Hello everybody, and welcome to How to Never Lose in the Forex Market Again. If you watch this video till the very end, you are going to have in your hands a mathematical method for eliminating monthly net losses in your Forex game. Many paid Forex seminars give you the dynamics of how different parts of the Forex market work. And the hope is that afterwards you can develop your own strategy that will possibly lead you to success. What happens is that afterwards you either succeed or you fail. Now, the truth of the matter is that the failure rate is high. It's about 94% worldwide. However, here I'm giving you a mathematical system for eliminating monthly net losses in your game, and I am not charging you for it. You're not going to have to pay a penny for it. All I'm asking for you to do is to watch this till the end. There is a longer version of this video, and that longer version is for those who don't know anything about Forex. They don't understand the concept of pips and lot sizes. But in this video, I'm going to go straight to the point and assume you understand what the pip is, what the lot size is, and the different kinds of pips. When I say kinds of pips, the different breakdowns, but that's aside. I'm not talking about that in this video. Let's go straight to the system. But I'm only mentioning this to say that for those who don't know anything about what a pip is or a lot size is, you are going to receive in your mailbox a link to the fuller version. Now let's go right into this system. Without wasting your time, I'm going to tell you that the system is the martingale system. The martingale system is considered a killer by many, but very, very few consider it a winner, and they are keeping quiet about their winnings. Now, I remember a time in human history when if you want to get drowned in the ocean, if you want to sink in the ocean, there are two things you may employ. You may employ a heavy stone around the person you want to sink in the ocean, or heavy metal. So in other words, metal was something that could, in fact, that would sink you in the ocean. However, at a point in human history, humans found a way to make metal float on water. And as of today, our oceans are crisscrossed by mighty metallic ships carrying mighty cargoes across our oceans, crisscrossing the oceans with lots of cargo and a huge amount of people. That's the same thing with the martingale system. It's supposed to be a killer, but that is for those who have not learned to make it into a winner. So this video is going to focus on how to make it a winner, how it becomes a winner and not the killer that it is supposed to be if you implement it in that old classical way that the martingale has been presented to be. Now, I'm going to skip some things here because these slides were made for the fuller presentation, so we're going to go just straight to the meat of this whole thing. Now, look at how the martingale system works. Imagine you are in a casino and you're betting on the flip of a coin, or let's say yourself and your friend, you're betting on a coin toss, and you choose to bet on heads. What happens is that if you bet on heads and tails pop up, you don't change your bet. You bet on heads again, and you bet on heads until you know that eventually heads are going to come up and you're going to win. But how you make net profits in the end is that every time you lose, you double your stake the next time you're staking, the next time you're betting. And so what is going to happen is that when heads finally show up, because you've been doubling your stakes every time, you've been doubling your stake every time, you're going to make back all the money you lost along the way, plus a little extra. That extra would be equivalent to what you would have made the first time if the first time it was heads that came up. Now in the Forex market, there are only two decisions, buy or sell. Let's imagine that you have chosen to go buy, and whatever happens, you're still going to go buy. If price hits your stop loss and your trade becomes a negative trade, you'll go buy again, just like in the coin toss example. So let's say here you bought, but price went against you and hit your stop loss. You're going to still buy again. Price went up but went down eventually and hit your stop loss. You're going to buy again. Price made like it was going up but eventually got down. You're still going to buy again. But each time you're buying again, you're going to be doubling your lot size. You see, one thing is for sure, one time price will eventually go up and hit your profit target. When it does, it will cover up all the losses along the way plus some. That extra will be what you would have made here the first time if price went up the very first time and hit your profit target. So let's go to the Excel spreadsheet and show you why this is good to some people and why it is bad to others. And then I'll show you how to make it really good for yourself and eliminate the negatives that come with the classical martingale system. Now we are on an Excel spreadsheet, and here we have a table. We have a table that illustrates a martingale scenario, the martingale scenario for trades from 1 to 13. That's imagining that a martingale series gets as far as 13. Here in this trade, we have a take profit of 10 pips and a stop loss of 10 pips. And we are choosing a buy position to go with. So imagine that we entered the first trade, and that first trade was profitable, ended up in profits. We will have a profit of $1. That's because we are using a lot size of 1 micro lot. So we'll have a total profit, that's net profit of $1. There will be no cumulative loss because we have just made profits immediately we traded. But in the event that the first trade was a negative trade, it ended up in a loss, what's going to happen is that we would have lost $1 because the stop loss is 10 pips using 1 micro lot. But we enter a second trade because that's the way the system goes. We enter a second trade and we double the lot size. When we double the lot size, the profit we will make will be $2 because we have doubled the lot size. However, we lost $1 in the previous trade. That's here, we lost $1. So the net profit becomes the profit here minus the cumulative loss of $1, which gives us $1. Now, in the event that these first two trades ended up in a loss, we will still go ahead and double the lot size to 4 micro lots. Because our profit target is 10 pips, we're going to make $4 of profits on this trade. However, the cumulative loss is 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3. Therefore, the net gain is 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. You are going to receive this Excel spreadsheet in your mailbox, and you're going to see that this is the case. You can follow the calculation all the way down, and you're going to see that your net gain keeps on remaining $1. And this is not very attractive. This is not a nice prospect. It is not a nice prospect. This is because you can see that as the trades progress, your lot size is increasing and your cumulative loss keeps on increasing. So let us look at this 8th trade. Cumulative loss on the 8th trade is $127. That's the cumulative loss before the final profit of $128 that gives you a net gain of $1. So how come you are risking more and more as the trade progresses, as the martingale series progresses? How come you're losing more and more just to make a net gain of $1. That's not nice. That's not fair. You're risking more just to make only $1. This is why people don't like the martingale system. This is one reason why. And if you're trading a $1,000 account, you find out that by the time you get to the 10th trade, you've lost 50% of your account on the way to making only $1 of profits. You see, so that is not very attractive. In the end, you make a net gain, of course, but look at what you had to suffer. This is the drawdown you had to suffer for you to make a net gain of $1. So you can see that's not attractive. Let's get away from this unattractive piece of whatever it is, and go to the next method. It's the same method, but the modification of this method that makes this very, very attractive. So we've left that very unattractive. Actually, it's nonsense. Let me just say that's nonsense. That martingale thing you said there was nonsense. So we've left it, and we're going to another level. Now, this is just one tweak we are going to apply to this whole thing, to the martingale as it is promoted out there internationally and wherever. We're just applying one tweak, and you're going to see the beautiful effect it has on your profit and your overall gain. The one tweak we're going to apply is that we're going to say our take profit is 15 pips and our stop loss remains 10 pips. Now, when you do this, what this means is that starting with one micro lot, if your first trade goes right, you make $1.5 with no loss, no cumulative loss. If you happen to do 2 trades, because you have doubled your lot size and your profit target is 15 pips, your profit is $3. Your previous loss remains $1 because stop loss stayed at 10. We didn't increase the stop loss. Therefore, net gain is 2 minus cumulative loss. Sorry, net gain is 3 minus cumulative loss, which gives us 2. If we continue doubling the lot size in the event that these two were losses, we have 4 micro lots times 15 pips gives us profit of $6. Now, the cumulative loss is $3. Therefore, net gain is $6 minus $3, giving us $3. Net gain becomes $3. If we continue doing this, you will see that as we go down, let us look at the 10th trade. On the 10th trade, if you have to do 10 trades, what you find out is that instead of making just $1 while we increase our risk, we're making $257. Let me take you back to the old spreadsheet. You see the spreadsheet? While the risk keeps on increasing on us, the only thing we can hope to gain is $1. This is just nonsense. Now, by applying just one tweak, we can see that if we have a losing streak of 9 trades before a positive, we have $257. Isn't that attractive? If we have a losing streak of 7 trades before we have a profit on the 8th trade, we are making $65. Isn't that attractive? As opposed to just $1 all the way. I'm going to send you this spreadsheet so that you can look at it and practice with it. So this is just one tweak, but this is not perfect. It's not perfect because if you look at this here, you find out that if you are trading on a $1,000 account, you still run the risk of losing 51% of your money on the path to making a net profit of $257. In the end, you make back all the money plus $257 on top of that, but losing 51% of your account on the on the path to this profit, it's not smart. It's not attractive. It's not nice to tell anyone that you might lose 51% of all your money. That's not nice. And what makes this worse is that if this trade goes on to the 11th trade, guess what? You'll be losing all of your accounts. That's going to be a margin call. So this 1 tweak is not enough. This is not enough. I don't use this system. I don't. Now let me show you one more thing. If you're using $10,000, this is better. If you're using this system as I've shown it to you, this is better, because whereas on the 11th trade you would have lost 100% of your account if you were trading with a $10,000 account. Sorry, if you're trading with a $1,000 account. When it is a $10,000 account, all you'll be losing on your way to these profits will be 10% of your account. So you can see that you can take this right away and go and use it and be profitable. But I will not advise you to do so, because I don't use this system I've shown you as it is, because this is just one tweak I've shown you. There are a handful of changes that have been made such that the system I end up using is a highly advanced and well-engineered version of what I have shown you. So that is what I would like you to use. But before I let you see that, now this is the story of how I came to start using this better version. I'm going to show you that in the next few minutes. So this is a well-abridged version of the story of how I came to start to use a precisely and very well-engineered version of what I have just shown you, with specific rules for entry, the right account size, and the right pairs, and how I execute this further well-engineered system on 9 to 10 pairs at a time. Now, the right pairs is very important, because not all pairs behave the same. All pairs have their unique characteristics. So in 2012, I was still studying to become a software engineer, and I came back from class and put on the TV, and I was watching Bloomberg TV. I watched a lot of it back then, and there was this news headline. The headline, and in fact, the actual story was that this programmer, Mr. Sergey Aleynikov, originally from Russia, had been released from jail after 1 year, even though he was sentenced to an 8-year jail term. He was released because his lawyer was able to prove that what he did not constitute clearly corporate espionage in the United States, under United States law. So what really happened was this. He used to be an employee of Goldman Sachs, and he, as a programmer, used to write programs for the Forex market. He used to write algorithms for Goldman Sachs to use to trade in the Forex market. So in other words, he wrote Forex robots for Goldman Sachs. Apparently, the robots he wrote were profitable. I think it is a robot he wrote. It was profitable. Goldman Sachs actually claimed it made over 500 million for them. And when he was leaving, he took part of the code that he wrote for them. And Goldman Sachs said, "What? We're going to send you to jail for that. We are going to send you to jail." And so he was charged with corporate espionage, apparently, and he was given an 8-year sentence. But a year later, and this was making the news, hey, his lawyer found out there was a loophole. His actions could not be tagged corporate espionage, and the judge set him free. I sat down, watched that, and I said, yes, this is something I had been suspecting for a long time. That all these robots we see in the marketplace that cost $300, $400, those robots were not really worth that much. That if there were robots that made good money in the market, the stakes surrounding them would be much more than would cause the owners to invite the world to download it for $300 a piece. So at that point, I said, we're learning Java in class. If myself and my classmates were learning the MQL4 language, the language that teaches you, no, the language with which you write Forex robots, I said to myself, wouldn't we all be rich? And so I started my journey in 2012 to learn how to make Forex robots and to learn the MQL4 language. I made some success in 2015. I had a robot that did so well, but unfortunately, I couldn't lay my hands on the codes. And so, even up till today, I'm still trying to get that one I did then, but that's not an issue because in 2017, towards the ending, I took on another approach to the market and wrote a new Forex robot, a new expert advisor. That's what they are called, EAs. And that one turned out to be profitable. As a matter of fact, when I wrote it, an associate, I used to call him a friend who I've worked with Forex wise for years, tried to steal it from me. But that's another story. So the robot I wrote has been profitable till date. Now, the robot I wrote actually, it's a robot that executes this my modified system. In other words, all the rules for my approach to the martingale system, everything has been programmed into my expert advisor such that it would do exactly what I would do if I was sitting in front of the computer every day trying to trade the markets. Now, the version I've shown you here is like basic, like crude. But you can see mathematically it works. You wouldn't want to try it with a $1,000 account, but you might want to try it with a $10,000 account. However, if any martingale series gets up to the 14th trade and it's negative, you're losing 80% of your account. And you cannot call any strategy with which you lose 80% or with which you could lose 80% of your account a good strategy. Even if you're losing 40% of your account, it's not so good, you know? So I would say that if you want to practice what I've shown you here, you need to have a huge amount of money, and maybe $50,000 would do. But I don't want to be the one to give you that advice, basically because I have given you here the basics. Chances are you have $50,000 in your account, you will keep on making profits if you do what I've shown you here. However, I will not formally, I won't give you that advice. But if you go ahead to do that, you probably will be in profit. But I will not advise you to do that. So the question is, what if there's a way to trade with $1,000 and have a drawdown that is far less than this, so much less than this? What if? Now the answer is there is. My system makes that happen for you. Now, let me go on to something else. If you want to trade my system or many systems actually manually, there is an issue that rears its head. The issue is that you have other things to do. You have to go to work. You have to pick the children from school or maybe take them to school. You have to go to church. Sometimes you want to watch a football match. You want to read a book. But guess what? The market is on. You know, it doesn't stop from Sunday night to Friday night. It's on. So you could miss, as a matter of fact, you will miss certain opportunities for profit. And you could, especially with the martingale system, end up with some losses because you were not there to place the trades you were supposed to place when you were supposed to place them. So you can end up with a tinier profit than you were supposed to make, or you could end up breaking even, or you can end up with a small loss after the whole month is over for all of your efforts. In fact, you can end up with a significant loss, like 10%. And why would you work so hard to end up in a loss? So those are the issues with trading manually, as most forex traders are finding out. It's just not so easy because they have other things to do. So if we go back to this story, when I wanted to record this video, I decided to go and research it. As you can see, I got the images from the internet. I knew it to be on the internet because everything is archived nowadays. So I went and searched it and I found it. But actually, this is where I found the news. This is where I met it in 2012. This is when it actually happened. I wasn't aware of it 2011. But when I tried to look up this event, this happening, I found out that something really terrible happened afterwards. And this is what happened. In 2015, he was convicted again. You see, Goldman Sachs would not let him go. Between 2012 and 2015, they spent years researching and looking for laws that would find him guilty. Goldman Sachs, multi-billion-dollar company, this is just a programmer. They found it worthwhile investing in trying to make him guilty for 3 years, and they succeeded. So what did it tell me? It told me further that this represents the real stakes behind any profitable forex robot, because you have to remember it's money, and people get emotional when it comes to money. People claw and scratch and do all kinds of things. So I know also that they must have done it because they have other programmers in their employ and they want to make an example. They want to make other programmers know that you can't do this and go scot-free. This is the viciousness with which we will go after you if you take any of the codes you make while you're with us when you want to leave. So I think I understand that. However, it made me decide that I wasn't going to sell my EA or give it away. So I decided to do something else for you, because I want you to have the full benefit of my software without having to pay the kind of money that you need to pay to benefit from it, because clearly it's going to be a lot of money. So if you don't want to require $50,000 to start, if you want to be able to start with just $1,000, if you don't want to have to stay glued to your computer while trading, if you don't want to be making only 3% per month because you can manage to keep on top of only 3 pairs at a time, with my software, it's a software, it can track 9 pairs, 10 pairs at a time. So if you don't want to be making only 3% per month because you can manage to keep on top of only 3 pairs at a time, if you don't want the risk of making only 1% per month or less for all of your efforts simply because you missed a vital counter trade due to perfectly normal human activities like going to bed at night, being at work, or even driving home, then this is my offer. Yes, I have an exquisite offer. I am going to show you everything about my own implementation of the martingale system that makes it into a steadily winning machine, a floating ship rather than heavy sinking metal. I'm going to show you my method that will cause you not to spend or not to need $50,000 to start, but instead just $1,000. So you're going to be able to start with $1,000 and not see any of the kind of drawdowns you saw in the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to deploy my software to work for you so that you enjoy the full benefit of the software without having to pay anything close to its real value. For 15 full months, my software will work for you, banking profits for you every month whether you are busy or not, whether you travel for work or holiday or not, and whether you actually know how to trade or not. My software will faithfully work for you every active trading hour of every week until the 15 months are over for a ridiculous fee of 22,500 naira. Now that ends up being a miserly 1,500 naira per month. First and foremost, I am giving a fast action bonus to the first 40 people to respond to this offer. To the first 3 people to secure a place among the 40 by paying their 22,500 naira fee, I will give a full 100% refund of their 22,500 naira fee, causing them to be participants in the program at a completely 0 naira cost. Now, I could easily say that the first 3 people shouldn't pay anything, but I don't want this to be given to freebie seekers, people who are just looking for something for free. So that's why I would require that you pay the 22,500 naira first, and then I will do a refund. I'll transfer the money back to you, and you'll be participating in the program for 0 naira. So to the next 17 to secure a place among the 40, I offer a 44% discount on their 22,500 naira fee, causing them to be participants in the program at the cost of 12,500 naira, which is equivalent to 833 naira per month. To the next 20 to secure a place among the 40, I offer a 22% discount on their 22,500 naira fee, causing them to be participants in the program at the cost of 17,550 naira, which is equivalent to 1,167 naira per month. To the rest, you get a 0 discount. So don't be among the rest, because they get a 0 discount, causing them to pay the full fee, which is 22,500 naira, for access to my system for 15 months. Now, this is a very crazy offer, and it won't be there forever. I know lots of marketers say there's a deadline for this, there's a deadline for that, but they don't really have a deadline. For me, I do have a deadline because I know the value of what I'm giving out here. So I would encourage you to take advantage of this. Even if you're not among the 40, there's a reason why you should take advantage, and I'm going to show you why I'll be forced to change things very, very shortly. Now, after 5 to 6 months of profits with me, I will show you how to run a Forex fund management business even if you do not know how to trade. I'll do this in my Forex Fund Manager Toolkit. This is a course that will be sold to the public for 50,000 naira per person. But if you're among this first 40, you get it for free. You don't pay anything extra for it. So only the first 40 to take advantage of this offer end up getting the Forex Fund Manager Toolkit for free. The rest pay 50,000 naira for it. So you have to understand that when you are being a fund manager for people, you are not going to take on a lot of the stress that many fund managers unfortunately put themselves through. What is going to happen is that my software, just as it creates profits for you, or it has created profits for you for 3, 4 to 5 months, my software is going to create profits for all of your clients, all of them, simultaneously, without you breaking a sweat. And so I'm going to make that offer to the public somewhere around March. No, somewhere that should be April or May. And when that is out, um, it will be sold to the public for 50,000 naira. But you here, my first 40, will get it at no extra cost to you. And so by March of 2019, we will be jacking up the price of this whole package to 50,000 naira, and this is the reason why. It's not just a threat. It's not an empty threat. It's not a threat in the first place, actually. The reason is that we will start selling to the international market, and they have more money to pay. And products like these that sell abroad, they are very expensive. In fact, you have to pay like, I think, $200 per month. You get, so we cannot be selling this to the international public, the international market for $300 a piece or $500 for the year, and then have them find out that Nigerians are paying like, say, less than $100. It's going to make us look bad, So when we launch, I think that's around March, we have to increase our price so that the disparity doesn't look too ridiculous, And if we advise, and I know 50,000 naira is still small, so we are very likely to take it above 50,000 naira. The only reason why we may not take it above 50,000 naira is I know very well that the purchasing power in Nigeria is not that great like it is abroad. So that's why it might remain at 50,000, but that is not a guarantee. The only thing that's guaranteed is that the price will go up so that we don't look ridiculous selling this to the Nigerian public for less than $100 and then selling it to the international public for $300 to $500 a piece. So this is how to pay. Pay to Dafiri S. Irims, account number 0047053293, Bank Guarantee Trust Bank Nigeria PLC. When you have paid, send your payment details to payments@forexwealthsolutions.com. You will be provided the link for downloading the video where I reveal my full system, and will also be added to our closed Facebook group where I'll share all the value I come across and create with you to keep you on the winning edge in your Forex endeavor. So basically, in that group, you get every new thing that I get so that you stay on the winning edge. Basically, so you avoid being among the 90% or so that are perpetual losers in the market, and you stay among the top 5 or 10%. Many say it's 5% that are perpetual winners in the market. Now here's a recap of what you get. You get 15 months of my program Slaving For and Creating Profits for You while you go about your normal life. You get a 22 to 100% discount, and that's for the first 40 people that get on board. You get my Forex Fund Manager Toolkit when it launches. The price is 50,000 naira, but you get it for free. And this applies to you if you're among the first 40 to take this offer. You also get access to my closed Forex group on Facebook. You have access to my personal number, which you can call on specified weekdays within work hours for personal issues you may have with your Forex endeavor. And anyone outside the first 40 is exposed to the possibility of being forced to pay a non-negotiable fee of 50,000 naira for this package because the new price regime could take effect earlier than the set March date. Now, what I'll tell you is that even if you're not among the first 40, just go ahead and pay 22,500 naira because, as I've explained earlier, we are going to sell to the international community and we will be forced to increase the price at which we are selling to the Nigerian market just to save us from looking ridiculous. You get, I know that things are not so easy in Nigeria, so that is why I've decided to keep it at 50,000 naira against the advice of my associates. They think it's stupid, actually, to be frank with you. They think it's stupid. Just yesterday, just 2 days ago, I sat down with one of them, and he's not in agreement with what I'm doing here at all. But I have my reasons, and we'll just go ahead with it. We'll go ahead with it. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you're not among the first 40, please don't be afraid to pay 22,000 naira, because we'll be forced to make it 50,000 naira when we are going to sell to the international community, as I have explained earlier. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this presentation.